The following is a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department. This is the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a weekly presentation exploring community health and sustainability with guests representing a broad spectrum of community partners working to make Ulster County the healthiest in New York State. This program is sponsored by the Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of Healthy Ulster Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Carol Smith, Ulster County Commissioner of Health and Mental Health. With me today is my co-host, Vin Martello, Director of Community Health Relations. Good morning, Vin.
Good morning, Dr. Smith. And today we're talking about a topic which is near and dear to all of us because our veterans sacrifice so much to protect our freedom and our way of life, and we're delighted to have our special guest today, Keith Bennett, who's Deputy Director of Ulster County Veterans Services Agency. Good morning, Keith.
Well, good morning, Vin, and thank you.
Thanks
for having me here. Appreciate it.
Keith, we understand that you're a veteran yourself and have family members in active service. Tell us a little bit about that.
I do, and thanks for the intro, by the way. I enjoyed that intro and thanking our veterans. I think that is so important, and to hear more of that and to hear, us saying things like that mean a lot to me as a veteran. Mm-hmm. Yes, I served for over 12 years. My sons are also serving currently. One went into the Air Force, served 3 tours over in Iraq, and now he came back, and now he's a JAG officer for the Army National Guard, and he's in Washington, D.C. currently. And I have another son who's currently still he's fought 3 major engagements, one in Iraq, 2 in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan, and now he's stationed in South Korea, and he'll be in for a long, he just re-enlisted till the end, and it's 2024 for him. And so I said, are you sure? Are you sure? But are you sure? I already did it, Dad. Oh, okay. So yes, I'm very fortunate. I have a family of heroes, right within my own, and including, my father, my uncles. There's a whole history of people serving in Korea, Vietnam, and in major engagements in our country. So it's an honor for me to say I'm a veteran, but it's an honor to be a part of the Ulster County Veterans Services, to be able to serve veterans. It's such a passion. I mean, just to be able to go out every day, wake up, and serve veterans, and it doesn't just go, sometimes people think it's just 8 hours a day. You know that, right? Yeah, your job's over in 8 hours. No, I visit vets at nights, on weekends. It doesn't matter to me. I love this job, whatever it takes.
Well, for one, Keith, I'll speak on behalf of our entire community. We really sincerely appreciate what you've done, the service that your sons are giving, and the passion that you're bringing to all of that to service your fellow women and men who have so bravely served in our armed forces. So thank you for all of that.
And I thank you for that. I thank you. I'm pretty passionate about everything I do. Service in the community, I've always been passionate about, whether it's homeless shelters, children's home, soup kitchens, everything we're involved with. But veterans, of course, there's a special, I'm a veteran, so for me to be able to serve the very group and population that I'm part of, we're like one when we're together. I don't know, veterans are such a small community of people. And if you get a bunch of veterans together, watch them. I mean, it's like you have a total brotherhood of people that love being together and sharing. And a lot of times it's difficult for a veteran to be able to, get back in a community and feel one again. It's extremely difficult because of the culture in the military. A military culture is, you do this, you're mission driven, and your team of men are mission driven with you. And out here, there's so much independence, people doing things on their own. The values that are in the military aren't necessarily out here. So sometimes it can be very difficult for a veteran, a war veteran or a non-war veteran to reintegrate with civilian culture. It was hard for me, and that's why I have my martial art organization. Martial art being military, and I created the very environment I wanted to continue having that military environment around me, and to this day I have that, so I'm very grateful for that. But the veterans, the whole thing, Ulster County Veterans Services, we know that. And so you've got Captain Massey, who really, if he was in the Army, is a colonel, he's a naval commander in the Navy. And then you got Tim Keating, he was in the Navy as well. And then we have Frank Ruggiero, and he's also a sergeant major in the Army. And they're all great, great people. I can't say enough of the service of our department. Then we have all our drivers. They're all veterans. So all contact is with veterans. And it just makes such a wonderful atmosphere for everyone because they understand us and we understand them. So yes, I can go on the roll about veterans for a while. Mm-hmm. So, and I thank you for allowing me to do that.
Could you tell us a little bit more about some of the services that the agency provides on a daily basis?
I would love to. In the past, I think, sometimes people measure you by the past and not what you're doing currently, because I've heard things. In the past, people would come to your office, and you'd fill out a claim, you send it in for benefits to the VA, and you're done. And then I was fortunate enough to be brought into the county with Mike Hine, gave my resume and all that, and I'm a very outward person. So it was nice to be able to create all these additional with Steve, Tim, and Frank. There's no one guy that does anything. I just do my part to bring what I need to our county agency. And I can tell you some of them. I brought a list of things. You know about the Patriot House. I was on a committee, but I was brought in later once I came in, but that was before I was on the job. These were Mike Hine's vision. No one can take credit for these visions. And no one can really take credit for what he did. He did this. And then he brought veterans together to help make the vision be a reality. He did that with a few other things we'll discuss.
I'm just going to interject because this is in quotes from Mike Hine. It is our duty to ensure that every veteran has safe, dignified housing available to them in their time of need. And he certainly made that a reality with the Patriots Project.
He did. It's a great program. I oversee that.
What is the Patriots Project and how did it come?
Well, it's the Patriot House. It was a project.
And now it's a house.
To get it to be a reality. But now it is a beautiful home for homeless veterans. But it's a transitional housing. So we have to make sure we understand transitional means we're getting them back on their feet, caseworking them, and getting them into homes or in permanent housing elsewhere. Okay, so it's not just where they go there and they stay there. They go there, it's for 90 days. And then a group called Soldier On, they get special grants from the VA to casework these people. And they're the ones who help get them, back on their feet with the VA. So it's a whole bunch of people. And then I ask weekly, where are we at? Where's this veteran doing? What does this veteran need help with? So our agency, with transportation or any other things that veteran may need, we all work together as a team to get that veteran from being homeless, once homeless, to not homeless anymore. The house has been staying full most of the time. It's rare that it's one or two people. Right now I think we have 6 there, and we have 2 more coming in. So it'll be full again. It can fit up to 8, but one is the house manager, and he's a fabulous, fabulous man. So Mike's vision was true. Some people tried to say we don't have homeless vets, and I'm going, well, everybody knows I've been walking these streets of Kingston for God knows years. Yes, we did. And so Mike's vision, he saw it. He knew it, and he made it a reality. And we're still taking care of veterans today with that house, and they're Ulster County veterans. If there's a vacancy, and we have another county that needs, the services with Patriot House, and if it's not an Ulster County vet, as long as there's a bed open, we'll let that person. But Ulster County vets come first.
And I just read an article today that said that veterans' homelessness has gone down because of that integrated approach of bringing federal, state, and local resources along with veterans advocates.
That was a great article.
And
47%, yes.
Yeah, and then providing integrated case management so that to deal with mental health issues, substance abuse issues, chronic disease management, to prevent that veteran from falling into homelessness once again and repeating that cycle.
Well, many times the cycle does get repeated. Okay, so I'm very familiar with the cycle of veteran homelessness because we see it time and time again. Somebody, they had to stop drinking alcohol, they go into the house or whatever they were doing, and all of a sudden something happens, they get back on alcohol or drugs, they hit the streets again, and then we have to do it all over again. Mm-hmm. Our house is alcohol and drug free. So when this happens, we have to set them up with a program up at the Albany VA generally. Okay, or it could be in Bath, whatever program is available. Bath is a 6-month program. Albany VA is a month, 2 at the tops. It's a very short-term program, and we had that currently. and we had a guy in the house, and he relapsed, and so we sent him to Bath, where he's being taken care of. Yeah, and this, for the first time in 10 years, this Iraqi war vet, 10 years, is clean. In 10 years. We've been struggling trying to help this guy, and finally, we did it, finally. And I'm so excited for him that we've got, that was a success. We've had many other stories with that house, but that's because of Mike Hine. So I want to make sure people don't make a mistake. Mike Hine, that was his vision, and I'm very grateful to him for it.
And so we understand that the county executive's vision was to take this home that was owned by the state in severe disrepair, right? And then bring the community to really draw the community together. He
brought so many people together. So many people jumped on board. But again, that's one thing. Mike, since I've been there, okay? So since I've been working with Mike, if I go to Mike with all kinds of proposals, and they're detailed proposals, I learned that quickly. And I learned something about Mike. He never says no to me. He lets me run. Mike, Adele, Ken, Bob, the staff up there are amazing, and they really support our endeavors in our county agency, and I'm real excited about that. And just recently we honored, there's 289 veterans in nursing homes. People don't know that. Nobody takes care of them. So I said, I need to find out how many is in each, and we're going to honor every single one of them. And so far, we've hit the 3 big nursing homes, right? Temper Commons, Golden Hill, Woodland Ponds. And that's already over 2/3 of the population. And we recognized every single vet. Mike came down and recognized every single veteran in that room. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of thing where I'm talking about he never says no. It could be just one. Okay, so this is what he does. When I said I needed help with St. Mary's Cemetery, for grave markers that had never been put in. If I look at our Veterans Cemetery in New Paltz. That was his vision, to have a Veterans Cemetery in Ulster County just for Ulster County veterans. It's beautiful. You should see it. And they're upgrading it again right now, just to make it even better. When this continues, and the Wall of Honor, or the Hall of Honor. When I first started, it was my first day, he says, your first job is to chair a committee, and this is what I want. I go, oh, wow. And, I'm not going to say I chaired the committee. I'm going to say we all worked together as a team and got it done. It was pins and needles sometimes, because he wanted it by a certain date.
Can you explain what it is so for our listeners?
I am so sorry. Yes, the Hall of Honor. What happened is Mike wanted a place, a monument, where all the names of Ulster County residents that had died or were missing in action from every single war, from the Revolutionary War to present, he wanted them on a monument. And he wanted that monument in front of the county office building, in a prominent location. And so we were tasked, the veterans were tasked, to come up with the names, what the monument was going to look like. And so we did all of that. And it ended up being a pentagon shape, 5 walls, 5 granite walls, the same granite used at the Vietnam Wall, with all the names from the Revolutionary War till present. And I know you've seen it. And the battle marker, or what is referred to as a battle cross most of the time, sits on a pedestal in the middle. The battle marker or cross is the rifle, the boots, the helmet. And if we could find a way to attach the dog tags, that would have been great. But the dog tags weren't able to be attached, and we don't want them ripped off or anything broken. That's why it's not there. And at night, it's totally illuminated.
It's magnificent.
Oh,
it's beautiful. Again,
Mike's vision. He sat with me. I'm going, what? Wow. But with him, in the 6th floor, the staff, and other county agencies, we all came together. The veterans did so much. The building and grounds, everybody played a part as a team. It's so great when you have everybody in the county working together. I recall when it first came, everybody was kind of stovepiped. But I see everything. Everybody's working. We're working with the Office of Aging, DSS, APS, County. It's so great to be able to work with everybody. So that's how that came to be.
That's a truly magnificent monument. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'd like to hear a little bit about some of the specific issues and mental health issues, health and mental health issues facing veterans, and also a little bit more about what you're... All right, yeah, we'd love to do that. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
The excitement continues to build. The mission of Health Alliance is now made even stronger by our new partnership with the Westchester Medical Center Health Network. By combining a legacy of community-based care with WMC Health, we are building a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant community. We'll be collaborating to provide preventive, primary, specialty, and advanced care right here where you live, where we all live. Health Alliance and WMC Health, advancing care here. Visit HAHV.org to learn more.
Welcome back. You are listening to Healthy Ulster Radio. Today, our very special guest is Keith Bennett, who's Deputy Director for the Veterans Agency of Ulster County. Keith, we were talking earlier about all the services that the Veterans Agency provides. One of them is also transporting veterans from Ulster County up to the Albany VA for care and treatment. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. We have some great drivers. Again, they're all veterans. We have a shuttle, we call it, a bus. And we have cars that go out as far as they need to bring the vets into the shuttle or the bus. They all meet, and everybody goes up on the bus. Unless it's a handicapped person, and we take them up on a handicapped van. And for all every day we have, the bus is pretty full every day. I mean, with the amount of vets, I saw the question about the exact number of vets.
Or roughly. Yeah.
Roughly. Right. If I was going to give you a rough number, it's 12 to 13,000. Okay, but people, World War II vets, Korean vets, even some Vietnam vets are dying, but we also transport to the dialysis center. We have quite a few vets that use the Kingston Dialysis Center every week. So that's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So and then there's special runs. Somebody may have a special run they have to have to the hospital, or they're in crisis. We're on call 24 hours. If there's a crisis, they call me. I'll call one of my drivers at any time to help that vet. Okay, but we do that anyway. If I have to go to somebody's house, but the transportation program is very strong within our agency, and we're always looking to improve that any way we can. And again, Steve has really been a real advocate for more, never less, always more. And that's what I love about him. He always wants more.
We've heard in the news over the last several months about varying stories about the level of care and quality of care in the Veterans Services Agency.
Well, it's the VA you're referring to.
Yeah, VA. Yeah. Some people say it's improved. Others say it's not where it needs to be. What do you see from your personal experience and your perspective?
We can always do more for veterans. There's so many veterans that have issues and need help, right? It could be from orthopedic, it could be from gynecological, it could be anything, mental health issues. Are there enough services to provide all that on demand? Probably not. Can they do better? Yes. Is Albany VA doing a great job? Absolutely. I personally had my own experience. I had major surgery, and if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be here today. And they did it in 2014, and they were fabulous. Fabulous. I can't say enough about how good. The veterans going back and forth, we rarely hear a complaint. But it happens. I mean, sometimes a medicine gets misprescribed or something happens, somebody's going to complain to us, then we'll get on the phone and work with the VA to correct it. Albany VA is great. I can only speak to Albany VA because that's where most of the services we provide are to Albany VA. But we do have a VA clinic here in Kingston, okay, with two primary physicians and a mental health care professional. Okay, her name is Kathy, and then you have the two physicians, Pat and Dr. Hoey, and they do a phenomenal job with the amount of veterans that go there every day. All right, but again, you're going to hear the other side, I'm sure, and we do. And when we do, we address them. It's either Steve, he'll address it, or he'll give it to me to address to try to take and deal with that particular situation, because it's usually one. But one or two people can make everything look terrible. You know that. They'll talk to 10 people, and then those 10 people will say, and then next thing you know it, they're horrible. And it's not that way at all.
I know in our conversations that you go out to a lot of places,
I do.
far reaches of the county, talk to veterans, and really be there for them.
We didn't have that in the past, and that's one of my big things, the outreach. Any veteran I can find that can't get to me, I'm going to get to him or her. And then we have, I also have a jail program that I visit all the veterans in jail, and it's the Ulster County Jail. It's a great program, and we've helped a lot of vets transition out, and now they're doing very well. Usually it's the smaller offenses if they're in the jail.
And Keith, just out of curiosity, how do veterans' health and mental health issues vary from, like, say, after 14 years of armed conflict, just in the recent past, and then the veterans going all the way back to World War II? How do veterans' issues differ from, if they do, from those of the general population?
Well,
or what are their particular challenges?
I think I alluded to that right in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Transitioning back into the civilian world, if you did 4 years, 3 years, it doesn't matter. It's very, very difficult. You're on such a strict discipline in the military. You know what you're doing. You know what you're getting up. You're doing this. You're so structured, and the people around you are so structured with you. And then you get out. Maybe you were a sergeant, and you get out here, and nobody looks at you the same way. It's different. All of a sudden, you might have had 8-10 men working for you, or ladies, but you may have been in charge of millions of equipment with a whole unit of people, and you come back out here, and it's like, okay, you can't find a job that you think you're qualified for, and you should be, because they're not going to see you the same way. Mm-hmm. You may not have the MBA, but you certainly have the military experience, which to me should be equal. This much military experience, believe me, military, to have that, it's round the clock, 24 hours. It's nonstop. So again, when you get out here, there are issues for vets finding work that comparable to their ability and skill and management ability, in my opinion. And of course, there are mental health issues that are hard for any civilian to understand. It's very difficult to understand PTSD, because how one person may have these symptoms, these symptoms over here, somebody might hear something and it triggers the symptom. Mm-hmm. This person may have extreme anxiety and fear. So I think those symptoms, and you would know better than I, Dr. Smith, they're across the board, all of these different symptoms, but we see them all. And they come in and we try to get, claims for them and help for them, every veteran.
I know we were working on the Ulster County Suicide Prevention mobile app, which is really terrific. It's called Ulster County Speak, and it's designed to provide people with warning signs of suicide in friends and loved ones. And I know, and veterans are one of the key focus groups because of the high levels of suicide in veterans population, along with young people and older adults. But one of the things that really was an eye-opener for me, I was imagining that PTSD was really one of the right at the top of the list of issues, but it turns out that with multiple long deployments, that relationship issues were really...
Well, I think that's part of PTSD. Uh-huh. That's what's killing relationships. I had a call, I believe yesterday, about something similar, and you see that. Well, in the military, again, it's culture. When you get out, if you were married in the military, that family member has 100% support. There's support groups, there's everything in the military. All of a sudden you're out here, then we don't have it anymore. Okay? You don't have that same support.
That community surrounding.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And so the challenge is, as I said, okay, combat, that's on their mind, the things they've seen and done. It could be guilt. It could be any number of things that have happened. I know my son has told me a lot of stuff. Sons. And then it could be, the relationship. The wife wants him or her to talk, or the wife or the spouse will talk about it. Well, they're not going to talk about it. And these are issues. When somebody goes through something, they don't want to rehash it. Mm-hmm. And so usually there's a challenge with relationships with regard to some of these transitions that occur from the military and when you get out. And this is common. It's common. It's common. You know, I can attest to it. When I got out of the military, I ended up getting divorced. So, you know, I can attest to it to myself. And yes, I'm lucky now and have the greatest relationship in the world. But.
And aside from the health and mental health services that you provide, do you guys also do things like social things where veterans?
I want to be careful. We don't provide mental health.
Okay. Right. Okay.
We refer to
right.
the agencies that need. What
Right.
we do is claims to get them compensated. Because we're accredited representatives with the VA,
Right.
and we want to get them compensated for what they've been through. So that's our part. We refer to the medical industry, and then we do.
So you kind of connect the dots.
All of them.
You know. And do you provide some social services? I mean, in terms of getting people, engaged, maybe with other vets or community organizations.
Yes, and I know we're running out of time. I'll say this as quick as I can. We once a month we're having a veterans luncheon that I started with Steve in the office. It's going great, by the way. We didn't talk about the stand down. We have to get that out there. And then I'm also working, I think you heard about it, about equine music and art therapies that I'm trying to get, because I already have a horse and I'm already working with a farm with horses, and I have a couple vets coming. So these are things in the future. I know I'll be discussing it with you in the future. So we're working very hard from our office to try to fill in any space we can that we can, and we have the backing to provide. You know, you got to have support sometimes and money to provide these services. But so far, we've been very fortunate.
And if folks want to find out about your services, about events that are going on, or maybe they want to volunteer their services, where do they go? What do they do?
They need to call our office, 845-340-3190. 340-3190. They can ask for Keith. That's all they have to do, and I'd be more than happy to, if they want to get involved. And I'm very grateful for being here today, and thank you so much. I hope I've answered the questions the best I could.
We're very grateful to you, Keith. Again, thank you for your service that you've performed and that you continue to perform every day for all of the important veterans in our county. We thank you so much, and thank you for being our guest.
And thank you again, and thanks, Mike Hine, for the opportunity for me to do this.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's great. It's really a pleasure to be able to, in some small way, give back to our veterans who sacrificed so much for us. Thank you so much, Keith. And that's all the time we have for today. Please tune in next week to Healthy Ulster Radio. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, you can send us an email to healthyulsterradio@gmail.com. And tune in next week for more ways to help keep your community healthy and strong with Healthy Ulster Radio.
You've been listening to the Healthy Ulster Radio Show, a community affairs presentation from the Ulster County Health Department, sponsored by Health Alliance of the Hudson Valley in Kingston, a member of the WMC Health Network. Thanks for listening, and be sure to join us for another edition of the Healthy Ulster Radio Show next week.